the European Parliament is the only direct elected institution. That means those who are not satisfied with the EU, whatever that means, the EU, have only one chance to express their worries. This is for the European election. And here often people punish the European parliamentarians and the European Parliament for their worries about other European institutions, the Commission, for example, or the Council. And therefore we must transform the European election from a moment where those who are interested to punish their national government, to express their bad feelings about whatever, as an opportunity for them to do what they want to express, worry, anger, whatever, into an election about the question not yes or no to Europe, an election where the debate is which kind of Europe do you want, and therefore you need the competition of candidates running with their programs to win trust of the voters. Who is the EU? Is the EU only the European Parliament? Is the EU only the Commission? I raised in the Council of Heads of States and Government the following question. You, the Prime Ministers, the Presidents, the Chancellors, declare that you are the most important and decisive organ of the European Union, which is, by the way, true. And at the same time, from council to council meeting, we see in the polls that trust to Europe is decreasing. So I raise the question, if you are the most important organ and trust is decreasing, have you something to do with this? Who is the EU? I think the EU are also the member states. The EU are the heads of states and governments who have also to do something with this loss of trust. And therefore, I'm not prepared to accept that this is only the European Parliament, only the Commission, it's also the member states' governments which have to contribute to increase trust into the European Union. We are entering a new dimension of European democracy, and this is a first step. I have no doubt that it is difficult, after 5 or 6 elections since 1979, where more and more the European elections were transformed in a midterm national election for the acting government, which is, in my eyes, a pity, because it has nothing to do with national midterm elections. To undertake now an attempt to change it, that will not happen from one day to another, but it is very interesting that all political parties, and even the European People's Party, with a certain reluctance, now has understood, yes, that makes a difference if different candidates are running. If the President of the European Parliament in exercise is running for the Social Democrats, if an acting Prime Minister of a member country is running for the European People's Party, if the group leader of the Liberals is running, if the opposition leader in Greece is running, this is an interesting thing. I think one of the concerns of voters is that they feel their vote doesn't matter. And that's the reason why we have such a high degree of abstention. To fight against is to give voters a chance to decide about the future of Europe. And if the European Parliament, on the basis of the Lisbon Treaty now, must be consulted and votes at the end. At the beginning, the Council, who has the right to suggest a candidate, must, before the suggestion, consult the Parliament. And as the treaty says, taking into account the result of the previous election. And votes then. This is for the first time for voters a chance to see, I voted left wing, I voted right wing, and I won or I lost with my vote. And if heads of states and government doesn't understand that this is a unique chance to make Europe, in the eyes of our voters, more democratic, I'm afraid to listen to such observations. as a former mayor, I know, as nearer you with such things like electricity or water provide or whatever you are to citizens, as better it is. So no problem with redelegation of responsibilities and duties to local, national and regional level. And this is feasible without a treaty change. To use the subsidiarity clause of the Lisbon Treaty, we can do it. So I agree with David Cameron. We must become more effective, more democratic, more focused, no problem. But for those responsibilities we have transferred on the European Union, we need strong European institutions. Democratic accountability is a critic of Cameron. Yes, he is right. We have a lack of democratic accountability. Therefore, we have to strengthen the role of national parliaments in relation to their governments acting here in Brussels and to the European Parliament controlling and as a co-legislator on a European level. And here, David Cameron, I go a long way together with him, but the rest of the way he is not prepared to go together with me, which is an error. And to deliver concretely in one item, in the shortest foreseeable time, is for me the fight against unemployment of young people. We are running the risk to lose a whole generation. Why? Because we underestimate that unemployment of young people affects not only young people, it affects also their parents. I'm a post-war German, born 1955. My parents were asked to give sacrifices in a way we cannot imagine today. The government of my country, like the government of other countries, asked to this post-war generation longer working time, lower salaries, no holidays, to pay for schools, for their children, for universities, fees, to pay the books, whatever. My parents made a holiday, first time in their life, 60 years. 60 years. 5 children, they sent all their children to schools, to universities. And they were asked by the German government to do what, if we would ask it today to my generation, revolution in the country. Why they did it? Because there was a message to them. Do it, it is for your children. It is for the better of your children. And visibly, it was for the better of their children. My life was much better than the life of my parents. And what are we doing today? My generation now, responsible in office in all member states on the European level, we are asking sacrifices from people. For what? For banks. And we don't care about their children. So the unemployment of young people affects not only young people, it affects a whole other generation of their parents. To regain the trust of these people, the fight against unemployment of young people, to bring them to jobs and to education, is key to regain trust for the European Union.